Peace. This is Ayrat, digital marketing specialist, also specialist in some other areas and enthusiast in even more areas. About settings in Microsoft Clarity, what I would do. Saying briefly, initially I would keep settings by default as they are. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, share. But to tell more, to make video a little bit longer, I want to show settings briefly. Going to settings. In our view part, we can change the info that typed while creating the project. In part Clarity Tour, it's not that much setting, but it's a part where Microsoft Clarity suggests us to make some changes or to learn some information. You can learn if you want, you can watch videos, see blog, and so on. Not that much setting itself, but gives some hints. In part named Team, in Team part we can give access to our projects by giving admin role, giving more possibilities, and by giving member role, giving less possibilities. Be careful while giving someone access to your project. I can also, for example, unsign myself, but I wouldn't do it. It's my own project. Can add team members through this button. In setup, first it suggests me to connect my Microsoft Clarity account with website using different ways. I think I would use Google Tag Manager and make video about it. Stay tuned. Also connections with some other services, for example, Microsoft Advertising, Google Ads, and so on. I also want to make connection with Google Analytics 4 and make video about it. Also, stay tuned. In cookies, by default, Microsoft Clarity start using cookies from launching the website. But if I would want to use consent banner, I would move this button to off, and possibly I would do it in the future. But for now, I'm keeping on. My recommendation, in most cases, it's better to use consent banner, consent mode. So in this case, it has to be off. For your situation, do your own research, make your own research. For now, I'm keeping on. Bot detection means if to exclude bot traffic, robot traffic, or not to exclude. Here by default it's excluding, and I would keep this. Masking means how much Microsoft Clarity will close information on a web page while user using it. Will it hide more with strict, or will hide something but not everything, or will it hide nothing, almost nothing, I guess. I would choose balance by default. Also, for your case, do your own research as usual. Also, if, for example, if there are some things that I want to hide and some things that I don't want to hide, and they are not in these options, I can use add element. For now, I would not do it. In IP blockings, can say to Microsoft Clarity not to consider some IPs. For example, your own IP or employees IP or freelancers IP and so on and so on. It depends. For now, I wouldn't block any IPs. Thank you for watching. Main video will continue after this insert. English is not my native. If you see something to correct me, welcome, but do it in a respectful and polite manner and with enough explanations and proof. If our funnels first want to show smart events, it's something like events. Microsoft Clarity assign them. Also, I can assign myself if I want, choosing from these features, from buttons, from automatically detected events, from some pages which are equals, includes, not contains, regular expressions, and so on and so and so on and so on. For now, this is just demo site. I don't have anything, but this is very useful function for those who need. Events, I guess you know, maybe purchase, maybe order, maybe subscription to email, and like that. Almost same with funnels. Funnels is a series of actions that user to visit website, visit particular page where you're asking for subscription, for example, and making subscription. 3-step funnel example. Also can you make funnels with events. For example, pressing new funnel and choosing events or page visits and ordering them on the right and so on. For now, I wouldn't do it, obviously, because I don't have any date for that. Another not that much setting feature, Copilot. Here I can choose if I want to use Copilot to ask questions from it in my Clarity, or if I don't want. I'm keeping by default. In data export, I can choose where I want to export data from Microsoft Clarity. Pay attention, here is only 10 API calls for a project per 1 day. I don't need it now, so I'm not going to do anything. To add some API, can hit generate new API and start the process. As I'm not going to do it, also I don't want to show it like anything. This is just briefly. In the integration section, Microsoft Clarity suggests me to make connections with several services, Microsoft services or other services. And I can choose and start the process. If I want to integrate with some services that are not here, also can choose this button. Here I can ask platform, for example, don't know, Google, for example. It is here. It is here. But for example, or also it suggests me to install Clarity manually, but this link is not working. That page does exist, as you see. Going back to my settings, This was all. That was all parts from left side. Also can change some count info on the right top corner, manage account, and give some info if needed, if wanted. Thank you for watching. Make peace, make mutual wealth. Peace.